this is the inside of the 2015 Elddis Xplore 304. If I firstly move to the main control panel, you will see that we have the master switch just here. So if I now flick this, this will turn the 12 volt systems on, and you can see up here that we've then got the voltage of the leisure battery. The master switch does need to be turned on when you're hooked up to the main supply if you want to be charging the leisure battery itself. If this is turned off and you're hooked up to the main supply, it will not charge. Above the master switch we then have entrance lights. All the other lights can then be individually turned on and off on their own switches. And then beside that we then have the water pump. We need the water pump on so we can get water out of the taps. And whenever the pump is in operation, you will see here we get the red light come on. And then as soon as the water pump goes off, it will then go back out again. Directly beneath we then have the switch for the awning light outside. Below that, this switch here is just the light switch for the washroom. With the washroom we have the basin, and then we have the shower just here. With the cassette toilet, the bowl does swivel. To open to the cassette, just come to the grey lever just here and slide it across, and then it's just a matter of pressing the blue button to flush. Make sure that this is then closed back up again. If this has been left open and you try to remove the cassette from the outside, it will not come out. So if you do feel resistance, just make sure that nobody's left it open. And we have the level indicator just here, so this will illuminate to let you know when the cassette needs emptying. Hob just here, and it's just a matter of pushing in, twisting, and then coming down to the igniter just here. And then directly beneath that we have the oven and grill. So if I now push in and twist to the left, that will fire up the oven. And then if I then push in and go to the right, that will then fire up the grill. Directly beneath the oven we have storage. You will also find two gas isolation taps underneath here as well. These are for the hob and the cooker. They are really more for maintenance than anything else. I do always say if you smell gas inside the caravan, go to the source and turn off the gas bottle. With the Dometic fridge, turn it on and off just here. And then you will see that we have a picture of a 2-pin plug for running the fridge on mains electricity. If you don't have main supply connected, you can run it on gas just by pressing the picture of the flame just here. The fridge will then automatically attempt to light itself. If it fails to light, it will start to beep at you to indicate that it's failed. It will also beep if you're trying to run it on main supply and you do not have mains connected. And then lastly, we have a picture of a battery, and this one is 12 volt maintain. This is what we use to keep the fridge cold whilst we're on the move. We do need to pre-chill it first, either on main supply or gas. So at the moment, because I'm not hitched up to a tow vehicle, if I press this, it will beep at us, and as you can see, we get a little warning triangle just here, just indicating that something is not right. If you go to light it on gas and it does fail, but you think it may just be down to a bit of air in the system, you can press the triangle just here and that will reset it, and it will then attempt to light itself again. Temperature control just here, so the more blue bars, the colder the unit is. Freezer box at the top, this can be removed. There is literally 2 clips, one just there and one just there. To vent the fridge when not using it, if you just push in on this section just here and then slide it towards you, it will then allow you to hold the door on a jar. Above that we then have the wardrobe, and also stored in here is the freestanding table. In the overlocker just here we have the digital amplifier for the television aerial on the roof. All we need to do is just make sure that it is turned on and that the boost is usually set to maximum. Once you've done that, plug your TV in to either the mains or the 12 volt depending on what kind of television you were using, and then plug in the aerial lead just here and tune your TV in. Also up here we have the radio, on and off on the button that says SRC. You will see that we have USB connectivity and we have auxiliary as well. Volume control just here, CD in here and eject just here. We then have an easy equalizer just here. We can change the band just here so we can go between AM, FM. And then with the volume button, if I push it in, it will then allow you into its menus, and you just navigate by rotating it. So we can change treble bass as well manually in here, and then back button just there, and then back off again just by holding the SRC button in. Just here we have the consumer unit. So we have the main strip switches all just here. So we've got the individual MCBs and they're all labelled up. And then we have the main RCD and the test button just here. And then underneath that we have all of the 12 volt fuses. And again, they are all labelled up. So if something's not working on 12 volt, just check to see if you've blown a fuse. And if anything is not working on main supply, just check to see if you've tripped. If I now just remove these cushions, you can now see tucked just here we have the boiler itself. To drain the boiler down for travel or winterization, it is just done on the yellow lever just here. So at the moment it's in the closed position, holding water within it. To drain it, firstly make sure that the water pump has been turned off, and then just come to this yellow lever and flick it up like so, and then it will begin to drain all the water out of the boiler. This can be left like this, and I always suggest that if you are fully winterizing the caravan, that you then also go around and open up all of the taps, because this will help release any airlocks in the system and make it drain down more efficiently. When it comes to refilling the boiler, close all the taps, reclose the drain valve, fill up your aqua roll, drop in the submersible, and then turn on the water pump, and then the water pump will begin to refill the boiler back up again. Let the pump run for a few minutes and then begin opening the taps. They'll cough and splutter as they force the air out. Once they're running freely on both hot and cold, reclose, and then the system will fully reprime itself. The space heater is just there. Do not need to do anything with it. It's just literally just sunk it within the floor just there, saving on some space within the caravan itself. And then you will find two gas isolation taps just here, and they are for the heating and the hot water system. But again, smell gas, turn the gas bottle off. If I now move across to the other cushions, and again just remove them, and if I now just lift up, you'll see that we have the top of the consumer unit just here. This is where the battery charger sits, so just make sure that nothing is actually obstructing this area to avoid it overheating. We then have the back of the battery box just here. We have the main fuse, 12 volt fuse just there, so that's a 25 amp fuse. We've got the inline water filter just there. And then we have the control board for the Power Touch motor mover. You'll see just here there is an R for reset. So if for any reason the unit is not communicating with the handset, you can reset it. Use either something like a cocktail stick and just push this in, and when you push the button in just here, lights will come on the control board just here. Once that happens, all you need to do is then turn on the handset and it will then repair. Before doing this though, the main reasons why the hand controller will not sync up to the control board are if the leisure battery is too low, if the battery in the handset itself is too low, or if you've turned on the isolator switch located in the battery box just here and got distracted, because after a while of inactivity the control board will turn itself off automatically. So you will need to go back to the isolator key, turn it off and turn it back on again. Located just here we have the controls for the heating and hot water. So at the top here you'll see that we have Whale water heater, and you'll see we have two switches. We have this one here which is a rocker switch, so if it's in the middle it's off, and if we want to heat hot water on main supply we come to this rocker switch. If we flick it up we'll be heating hot water using about 1 kilowatt, and if we flick it down we're heating hot water at 2 kilowatts. Obviously if we use 2 kilowatts it's going to get up to temperature a lot faster, but it just allows you to drop it to 1 kilowatt if you're on a low amp site to try and avoid tripping. If we are not connected up to mains electricity, we can heat our hot water via gas, And all we need to do is literally just flick this down, and then once it lights, we'll get a green light just appear here. If it fails to light, we will get a red light beginning to flash to indicate that it's failed. We can also get the red light if we're trying to run it on main supply and we trip or we haven't got mains connected, and again the red light will begin to flash. And how the red light flashes indicates what the problem is. If you look in the manual, it's kind of a bit like Morse code. And as you can see now, it has lit. If I now turn it back off again, let's just say we've just tried to light it on gas and it's failed and we've got the red flashing light. Once we think we've rectified the problem, because it may just be down to the fact that the bottle has run out or it hasn't been turned on, or it may literally have just not lit because there's a bit of air in the system or there was a gust of wind which blew the pilot light out. All you need to do is, once you think you've rectified your problem, you need to reset the boiler itself. And if it's a gas issue, it's a matter of turning it on and off. But not this slowly. You do have to be quite violent with it. Don't worry, you won't break it or anything, but you do need to rock it backwards and forwards quite fast until the red light disappears. This is also what you do if you're trying to run it on main supply and again it has failed. Once you think you've rectified your problem, again, just rock it backwards and forwards until the red light disappears. If I now move down to the heating, we have the temperature control just here, and then we pick our power source just here. So again, we're off at the moment, and if I want to run on main supply, we go to the wavy lines again. This time one wavy line being about 500 watts, two wavy lines being about 1 kilowatt, and then three wavy lines being about 2 kilowatts. If we just want the circulation fan on to just circulate the air on a warm day, just flick it to the picture of the fan just here. And again, if we don't have main supply, we can run the heating on gas, and we just flick down to the flame. And again, once it's lit, green light will come on. And again, if there's a problem in any way with it trying to run on main supply or gas, etc., you're going to get the red flashing light, and again it will flash like Morse code. And again, to reset it, you'll need to just twist the dial backwards and forwards very fast until the red light disappears. And as you can see, it is now lit. To avoid the red flashing light coming on, when you also turn the unit off, always wait until the circulation fans have stopped before going to the main control panel and turning off the master switch. This allows it to go through its full cool down procedure, and that way it avoids it basically throwing up an overheat code. We have the dinette area just here. So if we're going to be making the lower bed, we just need to use this table. Directly underneath, you'll see we have clips just here, so we just need to slide both of these, and this will then allow us to unhook the table off the wall. And then once we've done this, we then just need to fold the leg down, like so, and then it's just a matter of resting it on these sections just here. Once you've done this, it's then just a matter of putting both backrest cushions into place. With the top bunk, firstly just release the catches. and then just drop. And then you'll see actually underneath the mattress itself, you've got these sections that just fold up. And then it's just a matter of popping the ladder onto these 2 points just here.